My name is Richard Bartlett, Richard Bartlett.
What is your birthday?
I was born on July 5th, 1940.
And where were you born?
I was born in Boston, Massachusetts.
Uh-huh. Tell me about your family when you were growing up.
Well, we stayed in the Boston area through World War II. Actually, we were right near Harvard University, and I used to watch all of the Harvard University ROTC soldiers or cadets marching, and I used to march with them and all. It was great. And in fact, gosh, this is a flashback. One of my good chums while I was growing up through World War II was a boy named Junior Kobayashi, a Japanese boy who used to ride his bicycles with me. And Junior, I didn't put any significance to it, but that must have been quite a challenge for him being a Japanese boy in Cambridge, Massachusetts.
Yeah.
During World War II, but nonetheless, when I was 6 years old, I then moved up to the North Shore to Newburyport, Mass, and really spent my whole youth, the rest of my youth, in Newburyport, Massachusetts, which was a great place to grow up.
When did you graduate your high school?
I graduated from Newburyport High School in 1958.
So, around the time that you were graduating your high school, did you know anything about Korea?
Yes, I had an uncle who had served in the Korean War, and as a matter of fact had sustained a very serious injury. He tried to accompany a grenade into a bunker, and it didn't work. The bunker won, the hand grenade won. He came in second place. So, and he was disabled. He came back after
What
getting
did
out
he
of the
tell
hospital.
you? What did he tell you about Korea and the Korean War?
It was hell on wheels. It was very, very difficult. Being on the death's front doorstep every day of the activity, so it was not a pleasant experience.
Did you learn anything about Korea from the school?
I did not.
Even you are the post-war generation, and you didn't learn anything about Korea from the school?
Yes, I knew about it, but it was very casual. I didn't.
Wow.
Yeah, I just didn't.
So after you graduated from high school, what did you do?
I then went to Northeastern University in Boston. Unfortunately, it was a short career. I was there for 1 year, and was invited not to return for my second year, and I had an opportunity to either be drafted or enlist, and I opted to enlist in the U.S. Air Force.
So, where did you get the basic?
I went to basic training at Lackland Air Force Base.
Lackland.
But after basic training, I then went to tech school, the career school in Mississippi, Keesler Air Force Base in Biloxi, Mississippi, and went through the entire training process down there. And at the last, I had indicated that throughout school that I would kind of had a yearning to go overseas. And they invited me into the office and told me that I was one of the luckiest guys in the world. There are only 2 positions left, and they're in Korea, and you have one of them. Oh my gosh.
When was it? When did you
That was
enlist?
I enlisted in January of 1960.
60?
60, yes.
Yeah. And when did you learn that you're going to go to Korea?
In October of 60, perhaps October or November.
What was your specialty?
I was a radio maintenance.
What does that mean?
That means keeping communication equipment working, operational, and all kinds. It was electronics training, but the task that we had was to guide aircraft along the back
runway?
and forth. No, when they were airborne,
Okay.
have follow them up and down the 38th parallel to make sure that they didn't go over the line. But I guess they were doing aerial surveillance at the time.
So how did you learn all these things? You've been to technical school, and were you comfortable with the technology that you need to deal with?
Yes, it was, and then there was a lot of on-the-job training. Once I got to Korea, we flew into Tachikawa, Japan, and then from Tachi we flew into Osan, and that was where I.
Did you arrive at Osan?
Yes.
Ah, tell me about the Osan that you saw for the first time in your life. Be honest, okay?
It made no impression on me. It could have been Wichita, Kansas. It was an American base, and everything on the base was
It's America, actually.
was America,
Yeah.
really, to see what was on the other side of the fence.
Mm-hmm.
And
What did you find?
well, I found a little old lady who let me get about 10 paces off base, and then she came over and grasped me by the uniform,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it cost me $10 to get back. I kept yelling, "Help, help." And they said, "We can't help you, you're off base." So
What did she say?
she asked me if I said, "Gee, I want to go back to the base." She said, "Give me some money and I'll let you go back on base." Oh gosh, I would estimate she was 70 years old. What a grip, though. Oh, very, very
So
strong.
she wasn't prostitute.
No, she was not. She was a stick-up girl, a hold-up person.
What was your unit?
It was the 58th Communication
58th
and Guidance Squadron.
Communication and Guidance
Yes,
Squadron.
Yeah.
And did you work with a pilot?
Well, yes. Yes, we had radar, and we would track them, and then, and actually, we didn't directly correspond with him. We would have there was an officer who was doing the technical work. However, we were on board just to make sure that if either the radio or the radar or whatever malfunctioned, that there was someone there to immediately correct it or try to. So that was our function.
Did you have any feeling about being in Korea where that your uncle fought?
No, the fact that he had fought there and got injured there was irrelevant to me. Actually, I had some interesting experiences.
Tell me.
Well, while I was at Osan, I was fortunate enough to make the All Korea basketball team.
You made it?
Well, I was one of 12 or 15. I don't know how many fellows were on the team, but it was a great experience. We, every Sunday, would go into Seoul and play Korean teams.
Huh.
and that was a good experience. We got to talk with and get to know some Korean people.
What position you did?
I was not the center on the team. Trust me.
What
no,
is
I
it?
was the guard.
Guard?
Yes.
And what team did you play with?
Well, it was the
Korean.
No, I mean it was the Air Force team. It was the elite team for the U.S. Air Force in Korea.
Right.
The competition
Yeah.
was honorable. I mean, everyone played by the rules and complimented each other on good plays and died laughing on bad plays, you know.
You won all the game, right?
No, it was surprising. I figured, heck, this would be no problem. There were some very talented basketball players. And surprise to me, quite a few of the fellows were considerably taller than I.
Oh, really?
Really, yes.
We got you, huh?
Oh, thanks a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, that was a good experience. We would take a bus and go, you know, back and forth every week.
So 1960, still 7 years from the Korean War.
Mm-hmm.
What did you see in Seoul, and how was it?
It was nothing there that was a surprise or a shock to me. It was, I mean, transportation was moving, and I didn't see any bombed out buildings. I didn't pay attention, frankly. I mean, we were riding on a bus thinking basketball, but there was nothing that was scary or
Maybe
surprising.
you took for granted because it was the country that, you know, had a war
Very possible.
short time ago.
Very possible. I mean, but like I say, there was nothing distressing about it or surprising about it, and it was good. One of the challenges that we had in being there was we really, I would say probably in 95% of the cases, couldn't communicate with the people. Therefore, I mean, there was just no commingling. There were obviously the staff that worked for us on the base, the kitchen staff and the waitresses and all. They were fluent in English and very pleasant and very nice. Went out there and that was a very, very intriguing experience.
You mean the PY Island?
PY Do,
Yeah.
yes, PY Island, yes. It was not a very large island. All of the farming that was done there was done with animals. I mean, it was
Primitive.
primitive. That's a good choice of words.
Yeah.
And I was coincidentally, the stone that was used to make Noritake china, which I don't know, I'm not familiar with it, but I understand that it's a very desirable dishware, Noritake china. And that stone came from PY-Do. I saw 2 or 3 times it being carried in convoy from one side of the island to boats on the other side to get it to Japan to go through the thing. And the process of moving it was very interesting. They all had the backpacks and load them up with 7,000 pounds of stone. Have a nice trip, you know.
Yeah.
Whoa. But it was a good place to be. We lived in Quonset huts. The discipline was kind of like MASH on TV. The only way that we could get from Osan to PY-Do was, well, and this was kind of a proud fact that we had the only runway in the Air Force that was resurfaced twice a day.
One of the far north.
Oof. It is right on the 38th parallel.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I don't know. I did visually see an island that was, it seemed as though it was 3 or 5,000 miles away, which was a North Korean island, but it was very, very visible. We could see the barrels of,
North Koreans, right?
yes, North
Because
what-
it
I'm sorry.
was north of real demarcation line.
Yes.
38 parallel goes this way, but demarcation is go
That's
this
correct,
way.
yeah.
So it's a far north of Korean territory.
Yes. And,
Wow.
But every day we would look down the barrel of a machine, of a gun that
Mm-hmm.
was on the North Korean island.
Were you married at the time?
No, I wasn't.
Mm.
No.
What was the most difficult thing during your service in Korea?
Truly, I can't think of any.
Isolation? Not too much?
Not really, not really. I mean, we had,
But you were member of basketball team, you know? That's a very exceptional.
you know,
How many U.S. soldiers be in the team, you know?
well, not many. But one of the secrets of the military, and I found out after, the reason, or one of the main reasons that teams from Korea don't win games in Japan is that as airmen are being transferred to Korea, their military records are checked, and if they have any sports capabilities, they don't go to Korea. They get suddenly mysteriously transferred to a base in Japan,
Oh,
so that they keep all the talent in Japan. So
we need to sue them.
I was one of the lesser talented people. I was a mystery man.
You are too honest.
Shame to admit
That's
it.
your
but-
problem.
Right.
What do you see? When did you leave Korea?
I left Korea in the around the end of 1961.
Mm.
And from there, one of the real benefits of being stationed in Korea
Mm-hmm.
was you had your choice of assignments when you left. And I went consecutive to Germany and spent 2 years in Germany before I was separated.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, I had a pretty serious car accident in Germany on Friday the 13th of September 1963. And
In Autobahn?
no, I'm not sure. It was late in the evening and returning. I was in the back seat returning
Oh.
from a night on the
Yeah.
town.
You know, that's what happened to the Korean War veterans who enlisted or drafted. They wanted to be in somewhere in Europe, Germany,
Like, yeah.
but ended up being in Korea. Went through whole this hell out of war, coming back, but now the Korea came out beautifully out of that miserable devastation. So that's why they are proud of themselves. And that is the legacy of Korean War veterans. You are the successor of the Korean War veteran, right?
That is correct.
Korea
yes.
defense veteran. What do you think is the legacy of the Korean defense veteran, Korea defense veteran? What is the legacy of them? You, what is your legacy?
I don't think that we have a legacy. We served, we filled a void, we've done, in my opinion, a very good job of keeping the North Koreans separated and almost minding their own business. I mean, there's
Yeah, that's
a
it.
challenge there,
Yeah.
but I mean, we certainly drew the line, and it really is. It's interesting. I belong to a couple of military organizations, Air Force
Like what?
organizations. So, well, the Korean War veterans, but the Disabled American Veterans, the Sampson Air Force Base Society. But every time that we get together and have a lunch or talk over the table, invariably, the Rock will be mentioned, and someone will look and say,
Yep, yep.
"When were you at the Rock?" On the Rock, you know, it was.
Wow, do you want to go back to Korea?
I would, yes, I would.
You're a little bit hesitating.
No, not at all. I just, I treasure the memories of being there. I probably wish that I had been more involved and done more. We had on PYDO there was a Catholic missionary who had come there and helped the Korean population improve on the island. It was interesting.
What do you think about your service in Korea and the Korea that you know now, and how do you put that together?
Well, I was proud of my experience there. I really was. I had some unusual situations. Spending most of my time on PYDO, there wasn't a heck of a lot that we could do. I mean, there was no recreation other than playing softball on the beach and playing cards a lot after when we weren't working. Everyone would get together. That was really all there was to do. Like I say, everything was in Quonset huts, including the latrines at 3 o'clock in the morning, chugging across the cold open spaces to get to the bathroom was well, it was interesting, yeah, but yeah, I'm all on board with your effort. I think that would be. I think it's overdue. It gave me a real clear vision of how misunderstood the National Guard and reserves are thought of. They contribute the same as the active forces do, and yet everyone thinks of them as just National Guard.
Yeah.
That's not keen.
My next focus is about the Korea Defense Veteran because they've never been really nationally recognized about their service.
Truly.